My soon-to-be fiancée secretly planned a reunion trip with her ex for the week after our wedding. At our engagement, I got down on one knee and proposed we cancel. Then I showed both our families her itinerary. She was left frantically trying to explain her other honeymoon. I, 32 male, thought Sarah, 29, was the one. I really did. We'd been together for 4 years, living together for 2. We talked about the future like it was a blueprint we were drawing up together. The house with the big backyard for the dog we'd get, the silly little traditions we'd start, the whole 9 yards. The ring, a simple, elegant emerald cut that I knew she'd love, had been sitting in my sock drawer for 2 months. Our families were finally meeting at what was supposed to be our engagement party. A nice restaurant, private room, soft lighting, perfect. The week before the party, I was looking for a misplaced warranty for my laptop in our shared desk. I wasn't snooping. But when I opened her drawer, a flash of a confirmation email on her tablet, which she'd left unlocked, caught my eye. It was for a resort, a name I recognized instantly. My heart hammered. Why would she book that without me? Driven by a sudden sickening dread, I did something I'd never done. I looked deeper. The email was from a travel agent. A quick search of her email for the agent's name brought up the entire chain. And that's where I found it. The full itinerary. A 10-day trip for 2 people. The dates were what made my blood run cold. They started 6 days after our planned wedding date. The confirmation was under her name, and the name of her ex-boyfriend, a guy named Noah. I felt the air leave my lungs. It wasn't just a trip, it was the trip. The one she and I had talked about for our honeymoon. The same resort, the same private bungalow with the plunge pool. She had told me it was completely booked for the next year. A lie. So slick, so easy. The email chain was sickeningly cheerful, with her referring to it as a much-needed special reunion. My first instinct was just a roar of white noise, a primitive urge to smash something, to confront her, to demand an explanation. But then a strange sort of calm washed over me, cold and sharp. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a methodical, calculated deception. A hysterical, screaming fight was what she would expect. It would allow her to paint me as unhinged, to twist the narrative. No, her plan was meticulous. My response had to be too. This wasn't an emotional outburst, it had to be a controlled demolition, ensuring the truth was revealed to everyone at once, leaving no room for her lies to take root. I saved the entire email chain as a PDF. I took screenshots of the flight confirmations and hotel booking. I put everything on a thumb drive and then printed 3 copies. I closed her email, locked the tablet, and put it back exactly where it was. She never knew. For the next 4 days, I was the perfect, doting boyfriend. It was the hardest performance of my life. I helped with final party arrangements. I listened to her talk about seating charts. I kissed her good morning and good night. Every touch, every smile was a lie, and it tasted like ash in my mouth. But I held it together. The pain was a physical thing, a cold, heavy weight in my chest, but it sharpened my focus. She had a plan. Now, so did I. The night of the engagement party arrived. Our families were all there. My parents and sister, her parents and her older brother. Everyone was mingling, laughing. Sarah was glowing, squeezing my hand, telling everyone how excited she was. I watched her, this woman I thought I knew, and felt nothing but a profound, chilling emptiness. After the main course, I stood up, clinking my glass for attention. If I could have everyone's attention, I started, my voice steady. Sarah beamed at me, thinking this was it. As you all know, I love Sarah very much. For 4 years, she has been my world. And I've been so excited about taking the next step with her. I walked to the center of the room, near where she was sitting. I saw the anticipation in her eyes, the little smile playing on her lips. I got down on one knee. Her hands flew to her mouth. My mother was already tearing up. I looked directly into Sarah's eyes. I have a very important question to ask you. It's about our future. She leaned forward, whispering, "Yes, oh my God, yes." I pulled out the velvet box, but I didn't open it. "I propose," I said, my voice carrying through the suddenly silent room, "that we cancel the wedding." Her smile froze. It was like watching a statue crack. What? What are you talking about?" "I think you know what I'm talking about," I said, still on one knee, my voice soft but clear. "But in case you don't, I brought something to jog your memory." I reached into my suit pocket and pulled out the printed copies. Not the originals, never the originals. I handed a set to her parents, a set to mine. This, I announced to the room, is an itinerary for a 10-day trip, a romantic getaway. The thing is, it's not for us. It's for Sarah and her ex, Noah. And it's for the week directly following our wedding. A second honeymoon, I guess you could call it. The emails call it a special reunion. The silence was deafening. I watched Sarah's face crumble as her father opened the papers. He read the names, then looked at his daughter with an expression of pure, unadulterated shock. My mom just stared at me, her brow furrowed in confusion and concern. I believe the term for this is having your cake and eating it too, I continued, finally standing up. So Sarah, my proposal is this. You can have the trip, you can have Noah, but you can't have me. You can't have my family. And you can't have this wedding. I placed the unopened ring box on the table in front of her. Enjoy your trip, I said. Then I turned to our bewildered families. I'm so sorry, everyone. It seems there's been a change of plans. I walked out of that restaurant without looking back, leaving Sarah in the wreckage of her own making, frantically trying to explain her other honeymoon to a room full of people who, just moments before, had been celebrating her future. My future. Update. The silence lasted for about 12 hours. Then the storm broke. My phone started blowing up around 10 a.m. the next morning. A barrage of texts from Sarah, swinging wildly from furious, "How could you humiliate me like that? You're a monster," to pleading, "It was a mistake, a moment of weakness. Please, we can fix this." I didn't respond to a single one. Engaging would be like wrestling in the mud. Her actions were the issue, not my reaction. Then came the emails. Long, rambling justifications. Noah had reached out. He was going through something. She just wanted closure. The mental gymnastics were Olympic level. The most telling part? Not once did she say, "I'm sorry for betraying you." It was always, "I'm sorry you found out," or "I'm sorry you're hurt." It wasn't all sympathy. I got a blistering text from her maid of honor, calling me a vindictive psycho for what I did. I didn't reply. What's the point? Her brother Jesse called me. His tone wasn't just disappointed, it was conflicted. "Man, I don't know what to say, she's a mess." "But you had to do it like that?" "How else, Jesse?" I asked calmly. A quiet conversation where she could lie and twist it. She made a public betrothal into a sham. I felt the public deserved to know. "When you read those emails, what did it look like to you?" He was quiet for a moment. "Yeah, it looked bad, really bad." The first practical matter was our apartment. We were both on the lease, but I'd paid the $2,850 security deposit. I had the bank receipt. I sent a formal email to Sarah copying our landlord. Subject: lease at apartment address. Sarah, I will be vacating. I will coordinate with the landlord regarding the security deposit I paid. Please let me know your intentions for the lease. The landlord's reply was professional and exactly what I expected. He stated that, per the lease agreement, any security deposit refund at the end of the term would be issued via a single check made out to both tenants. He couldn't legally cut her out of it, regardless of who paid. He also noted that for her to remain, she would have to requalify on her own income. It was the first bureaucratic hurdle, and I knew it would be a fight. Then came Noah, the man himself. He sent me a message on social media. "Noah, hey man, you need to back off. You're harassing Sarah. Whatever you think happened, you've got it wrong. She told me you were a controlling asshole and I see it now." The sheer audacity. I typed back. Tell me, does your girlfriend Teresa know you were planning a special reunion with my fiancé? Because I have the receipts. His tone shifted instantly. "Stay the hell away from my girlfriend. This has nothing to do with her. You threaten me again and you'll regret it." The empty bluster of a man who'd been caught. He didn't deny it. He just tried to intimidate me. So I made my next move. I found Teresa on social media. With a deep breath, I attached the PDFs. "Teresa, I am so sorry to be the one to tell you this, but I think you deserve to know the truth about what your boyfriend Noah was planning with my now ex-fiancé." I hit send. It felt awful, but necessary. They made their choices together. They could face the consequences together. Update. The past month has been a slow, grinding process of dismantling a life. I moved out, taking only my personal effects. I left the shared items, photographing everything to document the apartment's pristine condition. Sarah was there, her tactics shifting from tears to entitlement. "You can't just leave me with all the bills," she said. "I'm not," I replied. "I'm disconnecting the utilities and internet, which are in my name, on the 30th. You'll need to set them up in your own name if you qualify to take over the lease." Her face fell. It wasn't the emotional reaction she wanted. It was a logistical one she hadn't prepared for. The streaming accounts were next. I didn't see a new profile on Netflix. It was more subtle. The continue watching was suddenly filled with gritty British crime dramas and stand-up specials I knew for a fact she hated, but that Noah's old profile picture on social media suggested he'd love. It was a small, intimate sign of his presence in our space. I changed every password and logged all devices out. The real challenge was the furniture. We'd bought a new sofa and dining set a few months back on in-store financing. The account was in my name. The first payment after I moved out was due. I called the finance company. I explained the situation. The woman on the phone was sympathetic but firm. "I understand, sir, but as the primary account holder, you are legally responsible for the full amount of the loan, regardless of who has the furniture." This, I expected. "And what happens if payments are not made?" I asked. "Well, after a period of non-payment, the account would go into default," she explained. "It would be reported to the credit bureaus, which would negatively impact your credit score. Eventually, we would pursue action to recover the merchandise or the funds." Here was my choice: pay for furniture for my cheating ex, or take a deliberate, calculated hit to my own financial health to ensure she didn't get to keep it. It was a bitter pill to swallow. I looked at my credit score online, a number I'd worked hard to build, and I thought about her sitting on that sofa with him. "I understand," I told the woman. "I will not be making any further payments on this account." I hung up. It wasn't a clean, easy revenge. It was a decision that cost me something, but it was a price I was willing to pay. Teresa did reply to my message. It took her a week. She said she confronted Noah, and after a series of pathetic lies, he finally admitted it. She kicked him out. Her message was short, but I could feel the pain in it. She thanked me for the truth. There was no satisfaction in it for me, just a grim sense of solidarity. Final update. It's strange how much can change in half a year. The noise has finally faded, replaced by a quiet sense of order. Justice isn't always a lightning bolt. Sometimes it's just the slow, methodical resolution of paperwork. The apartment situation resolved itself, but not without one last fight. Sarah failed to qualify for the lease on her own and had to move out. As the landlord predicted, the security deposit check arrived, made out to me and Sarah. I emailed her, asking her to sign it over. Her reply: "Absolutely not. That's my money too. For my pain and suffering." I replied with a screenshot of my original bank transfer for the deposit and a link to the state's small claims court filing website. "Sarah, you can endorse the check, or I can file a claim for the full amount plus filing fees. Your choice." 3 days later, the endorsed check was in my mailbox. The furniture was repossessed about 2 months after I stopped payments. My credit took the hit, and it stung. But Jesse told me the retrieval company showed up, and Sarah, after initially refusing them entry, had to stand there and watch them haul away the sofa and dining set from her now almost empty apartment. A small, petty victory, but one I had paid for. The final step was the small claims court filing for the other big-ticket items: the TV, sound system, mattress. The wait for the court date felt like forever. In court, she didn't just claim they were gifts. She tried to argue that she was owed them. "He destroyed my life and my reputation. He owes me that much," she told the judge. The judge was a no-nonsense woman who was clearly unimpressed. She looked at my pristine receipts and bank statements. "This court doesn't deal in emotional damages, ma'am. It deals in property and proof of ownership. Judgment for the plaintiff." She shot me a look of pure hatred. In her mind, she will always be the victim. I'm okay with that. I heard Sarah and Noah actually tried to make a go of it. It lasted about 2 months. Their relationship was founded on deceit, and it couldn't survive the harsh light of reality: her financial troubles, his own baggage. It turns out a special reunion isn't so special when it's all you have left. I'm rebuilding. My credit score is slowly recovering. I have my own place, filled with things that are unequivocally mine. I took a solo trip a few months ago. There are still moments when the ghost of that betrayal visits. But it passes. My dad, in a moment of wisdom, told me, "You didn't just dodge a bullet, you disarmed a bomb." People like Sarah don't have grand epiphanies. They don't learn. They just find new people to star in their dramas, forever blaming the world for the consequences they create. I'm no longer a character in her story. I'm writing my own now, and for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to the next chapter.